was just wondering why these trees are a lot further ahead than the ones here to the left. And so I came out here to have a closer look. But this one is definitely making leaves. So you see that there is a branch that is pretty green, and it is also making leaves there on the top. It's just a bit later than all the others. And here is one that is even later, but down there the leaves, well, the branches are making this color. That indicates soon that there will be new branches and new leaves. But you see here on the top, this looks pretty dead. So maybe the main trunk will get reactivated. It seems that this will be the case, but you can see it here. So there, this is the right color. But then further ahead, you see that this looks like dead wood. So those are branches that had not survived. But this tree is definitely coming back. Also down there below, there you can see the green color. That is from the frost that I have been mentioning a few times. So same here. So the upper part is partially dead. And then we have two that are already in full swing. Not as much as the ones that I showed at the beginning, but it is coming up. Oh, here Mr. Cat. He is over there. He wants his food. Once the chicken, the hens are inside, then he will get his food. I see the gosling, and she is eating grass more and more, which is great. So this area soon will be trimmed down thanks to her activity. That's the idea. Let's see what else we can see here. So this is not that different from the last time that I walked around here. So I guess if this will not get reactivated, if the sap won't reach up high, then I will cut this. But I have a feeling that these little ones there, they are also changing color. Like I said, I want to see how these trees will behave. Because at some point I want to have production trees in the form of Polovnia, so that in 10-12 years we can actually sell a product, which means the wood. What you see here is Mr. Cat's girlfriend. This is quite interesting, but I'm pretty sure if I now walk that way, which is what I wanted to do, she will run away. But doesn't matter. I wanted to check on the wannabe food forest because the irrigation just ran, and I want to see how this looks like now that it rained. I think she will figure out that I'm not interested in her. You see, she's over there and I'm going to stay on this end so that she learns that this is safe. So now that I'm here, I can have a look. The vetiver there, you see, is growing. Most of them are not. That takes a moment, but that one there definitely is. The vetiver right here, some that has started to grow. Let's go to the other side. There's also some. There is another green piece, but most are still dormant. So this is wet from the irrigation here. The wobblers are right there. And because of the irrigation, this water will also sit there in the swale, which is okay. So I'm kind of helping the swale to stay moist. I try to irrigate quite a bit because the sensor sits over there and that's the dry spot. So there where the first palovnia tree is. And of course this is on the surface. And you see there's a wobbler right next to the tree. And right now it marks almost 23%. And I definitely want this to be as moist as possible, so that everything in here grows very, very vigorously. And my hope is that with more roots, especially in that area, the moisture level will then be more even. I did cut down the thistles here in this part, and they have not come back up again. Look who's here. There's Mr. Cat himself. Well, this looks pretty good. And in some comment, someone mentioned more fruit trees. Yes, of course. There will be more fruit trees, but first I want to add more palovnia trees for shade and biomass. They are great for chop and drop, and then I can set more fruit trees, because this is incomplete. We are basically missing the first level, and the palovnia trees could be the first level. I wonder if I need to interfere here. So there's a flower to the left, the bigger green leaves, and there are the thistles. And I'm wondering if I need to cut down these thistles. So far, the flower seems not to be affected, but maybe I should do that. Now that spring is fully here, we also get these poppies, and I wanted to share this site because it looks very nice. And I also see, if I go a little bit further ahead, you can see this better, that the vetiver has started to grow here. This is pretty old vetiver, and it is making new leaves. And soon I have to start cutting here again to add biomass to this area. This is in the back of the wannabe food forest, and what I want to show you is the trees that got damaged last year by the frost in early May. So they would have sprouted by now, and they aren't, but there's a little bit. This one here, the one to the left might not, so it's difficult to say. The one here in the front decided to make a completely new 2 branches, 2 trunks. So the existing one is kind of abandoned. I am reluctant to cut these, but I did in a different case. And I hope that they come back from below. But of course, if the plant gets damaged by something like frost, then it might not be the case. There's a new oak tree, by the way, and I'm contemplating what to do here in terms of maintenance of this. I would love to bring the sheep and solo the remaining horse in here, but then the sheep will eliminate this. So that's a no because of this. If this were up high, yeah, there would not be a problem. And I have to admit, also another defeat. So you see this row of cypress trees. Quite a few did not make it. We planted them too late and then there was no water. Now we have plenty, but they have not come back. So some have, but others have not. And I guess later we need to replace them. But of course I also need to think about in terms of urgency and available labor. So it makes no sense to start things that cannot be finished. So I have been cutting down the thistles here because this had been completely overgrown. Here you still some of it, but it's not as bad as it used to be in the other direction. Well, this little bit resembles of the situation. And of course I'm also a little bit worried about this wall here. If this wall falls down, then it's a huge undertaking, because if you look on the other side, this separates us from the neighbor. So you see, this would be a major issue because it goes down there a little bit. And with all this rain and the sunshine in between, growth of all these things is great. I'm a bit sorry that we don't have any grazing animals that we can put here. And so I've been thinking about the sheep and the horse maybe in this lane here for a day, so that they can clean this up now that I removed the thistles, because they will not touch the thistles, but the stuff between they will. And I'm not worried about the cypress trees. They have something that the animals don't like, but they might clean up the ones that are dry. And it's pretty clear what can be removed. The sensor that sits there, you might see it there on the fence post. It's a solar powered one, that's why it sits like this. Reports some 33% of moisture there at the base of the cypress. So that's pretty moist. But on the other hand, the one there, it reports 24, and I have been irrigating like mad just to make use of the water. And yeah, this is much drier there, but then not much is growing. And this tree, it is starting to make leaves from below, but the higher part, unfortunately, it doesn't look very good. And the next one is the same, but then we have another one that managed. It looked equally dry and bad, but it came back. So maybe the neighbors will also do the same. They are pretty resilient, but of course it requires moisture and heat. So I will not touch them, and let's see what will happen. But the one that is here in the center of the image does have a fresh leaf down below, so it's not dead. We will see how this goes. But the one here to the left definitely is growing. And it's a bit of a shame, because you see there at the top they had flowers. So let's hope for the best. I think I figure out a way to motivate Solo and the 6 sheep to come in here. But it requires a little bit of fencing, because there on the other hand, on the other side over there, the barrier that used to be there, I removed. I did not like it how it was, so I need to put another one there that is different. And you see Solo and friends, they come close. And the dogs are now pretty calm because it's too warm to run around and bark. So this might be a good idea to let him in here with his friends. I just need to close there ahead. And you see, here we have standing water, because on the other side we certainly also have standing water in that swale. It's going to be a wet year, so it seems, which is good. So from here you can see how much I cut down. This is very thick stuff, and I am using the blade. It makes quick work of this, but still it is an effort. And this ideally should be a gate, so that we can control when this is open and when it's closed. Let's see what we can do here.